Jackson.
Hello, my name is Corby Wood, and today I'm going to tell you about Iceland and its business behaviors. First off, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the island of Iceland. Iceland's island is located in the northern Atlantic Ocean. It is also a part of the Republic State of Europe. Iceland does not have very many exports, but it does export fish and fish products. Iceland is very well known for its land. Iceland's land is full of volcanoes, craters, and thermal springs, and is very beautiful. Now I'm going to tell you about the social customs of Iceland. When going to a business meeting in Iceland, it is important to know how to properly greet someone. A proper greeting in Iceland is more known as a handshake that is firm and you maintain eye contact the whole time. If there is more than one person at the business meeting, make sure to shake hands and communicate eye contact with each person. Sometimes in Iceland, you will even receive a kiss on the cheek as a greeting. This is not as common as a handshake, but will happen. It is also important to know body gestures in Iceland so you do not offend anyone when visiting their beautiful country. Whenever you are in a business meeting, it is important to exchange business cards with every person at that meeting so when you return to the United States, you have their contact information. If you are invited to a person's house in Iceland, it is best to know that you should remove your shoes before entering their house. There are a few things that are not allowed in Iceland when visiting. It is frowned upon to smoke in their land, and actually it is prohibited. Eating on the sidewalk is also something that you should not do. In some rare occasions, it is okay when it comes to eating popsicles or hot dogs. Now I will tell you about their value systems. Knowing the value systems of Iceland will help you communicate better business techniques with them. They have a very cooperative business technique. They are competitive as well, but I would say they are more cooperative. They are laid back in their meetings, and they will typically ask you about Iceland and how you feel about it. They will ask you if you like the land or if you like the country at all. Don't take offense if the person is very blunt. Iceland is known for being blunt and honest with the people they communicate with. Their position of women is different than some in other countries. Iceland is known for their gender equality. When it comes to fish and their exports, men typically do the fishing and women do the processing of the fish. Women are very independent in Iceland. There is little marriage there because women feel that they do not need to marry to rely on a man and they can do everything themselves. The perception on Americans is also very good. We are trade partners with Iceland, and we have been for a long time. We are at the top of their list when it comes to exports. People in Iceland don't just speak Icelandic, they also speak English, and it is common for them to know English so that they can communicate with America. We have been allies with Iceland for around 50 years now. Political patterns are also important to know in Iceland. They have a very good political survival rate. They have had 6 presidents in the past 72 years. This past year was the first time they re-elected a president. Each president remains in office from around 8 to 16 years. Pictured is the current president that was elected in 2016. Iceland has a very strong political survival rate, which recommends a very strong country. Their social situations are different than here in the United States. They are not very friendly. You will not see people waving to each other when walking down the street, or you will not see communication. There is very little casual conversation. Their political power is similar to the United States. They are ran by a government. Their government includes their president and parliament. Their parliament is known as Alþingi. Now I'm going to tell you about their class structure. This is important to know when you conduct a business there. They do not have very many minorities, and so it is easy to communicate with anyone there to do business. I will say it is important to know about their religious standpoints. They are a very religious country, and most of them are under the evangelical Lutheran Church. Pictured is that church itself. In closing, I want to remind you of the things we went over today. When communicating a business meeting in Iceland, you should learn about their social customs, their value systems, their political patterns, and their class structure before visiting. Iceland is a beautiful country full of volcanoes, craters, and thermal springs. Their exports are fish and fish products, and America expects to stay on their good side because we have been allies with them for around 50 years. We trade with them and we are on the top of their list to trade.